seeing patterns, like the way that, for example, one of the things we're going to do today is based on some amount of work from acupressure and sujok, which have a lot of similarities. And then when I looked at life and the way that the answers were showing up from the studies of the Gita and Vedanta, which is the Hindu school of life and God and philosophy,
Okay.
everything just started making so much sense. Ultimately, I must admit, this was given to me. So if you notice, I do not use the word creator because it is as much a gift that was given to me, and it is as much a part of my daily practice as I ask everybody else's to make it so as well. So, so I would say that it's actually the law of attraction in action, because I like things that are quick. I
Yeah.
like things that are simple. I like things that are fun. I like things that are easy. And most of all, I love things that are independent, meaning that you don't have to wait for the next time to get cracking on doing it. Like everybody, and by the way, hi, everybody. And even from today's call, you will be able to leave doing it yourself because it's so
Yes.
simple, it's so easy. So I think everything just kind of fell into place. Ultimately, I realized that I had been looking at a lot of pieces of the puzzle, and then it came together with the decrees, word medicine, also now known as light medicine, because the decrees are cosmic commands and they are a language of light and they're a language of the superconscious. And as Darius was speaking to us about that, and you're absolutely bang on, it is etheric, it is ethereal, because the superconscious is
Yes.
the part of us that is 100% light, 100% gold, 100% truth, 100% awareness. And the superconscious is part of all consciousness, as in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. But it needs to be told it can do more. It needs to be told, hey, you can shine now. And that's what the decrees, word medicine, light medicine does. So the moment we use it, because there are also processes and body works, the moment we do it, the superconscious light and gold shows up. And because the superconscious is the best of us, it's our best friend, it's our passion, power, potential, purpose. It carries our blueprint, it carries our karma, it carries our lineage, it carries our possibilities. And if you were here before we started, that's what Darius brought up. The thing about being open to possibilities, and those possibilities for you exist and are carried through lifetimes through the superconscious. So when we work with the superconscious, there's nothing faster, as y'all are going to experience as well.
Wow. I got chills because one of my absolute like salvations has been the super conscious, the higher essence, this truth about us. And when you said you give it the command to do its thing, to show up, to come into your life, to come into your world, and you called this a language of light, cosmic commands. You're allowing it to bring the magic into your life. I just got chills. I got chills because so many people don't feel like it's possible. So many of us are kind of in the soup of reality. We don't realize that there is this higher frequency, this higher plane where all of this wants to come in. Explain a little bit more about that, Nidhu, and how you've seen this work in lives. What are some of the things that you've seen these do? And just we're going to open the door more. I know I have 100 questions. I'm super excited about it.
So if you think of it as the sun, and if you think of all the other clutter and baggage and garbage as the clouds, the
Yes.
clouds cover the sun, but the sun is always shining, even when it's night. The sun
Yes.
is always shining in the other hemisphere. The sun never stops shining. And the superconscious is that part of us. And while it is correct to say that it is a higher realm, it is also within us. It is what the Star Wars world calls the Force. The Force is always with you. The Force is with you and within you. All we have to do is part the clouds. All we have to do is make sure that we never forget that the sun is always shining, even in the darkest of moments. The sun is always shining there, and the sun is always shining here. And what we do with the language of light, the language of the superconscious, because like an arrow headed straight to bull's eye, that's where it goes. It parts your clouds and it allows the sun to shine through, which is why the shifts are so instantaneous and so rapid, no matter what you're dealing. It's, yeah.
Yes. I love two things you said. And I make this potential mischaracterization of making like the super conscious, the higher self out up there or over there. You say it's in us. So we are like a part of that. But I love the analogy of the clouds and the sun is always shining, even though we don't see it. The same is true for this cosmic self, this super conscious, this higher essence. It wants to come forward and shine the light onto our life to create instantaneous shifts. When you feel into this, you've seen shifts in people's financial lives, in how they feel. You did things with me on things in the body. Explain a little more about some of the areas where you've applied this cosmic command set or these decrees. What are some areas where you've seen shifts? And as I said, everyone's different. Our goal is to bring in the highest good possible in whatever area we are working in. So just feel into some of these different possibilities today.
Because, so the word medicine is used to understand that it's a one size fits all. Whatever it is we're dealing with, the language does not change. Only the problem is identified as is. For example, earlier this year, me, my son, a couple of more people, we had this opportunity to see the jets take off for our Republic Day. I'm in India, by the way, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great privilege and honor because obviously it takes place from in one of our defense areas in the country. Nobody has easy access to it, but we were getting that opportunity. And we were also going to be getting the opportunity to speak to the MiG jet fighter pilots, maybe even sit in the jet fighter plane. My son was thrilled. And this place is in West India. It's almost a day of travel. You have to travel by train, then you have to travel by plane. It's 8 to 10 hours. It's quite some distance. Well, and the next day we had to go. All of us needed some time to recover. But by morning, we had to reach the defense area. We had to reach the Air Force base by 10 a.m. And around about 8:45, my son started feeling sick and unwell, and suddenly he had a temperature. And we had one medical person with us, and by the way, very cold where this is. This is a place called Bikaner in Rajasthan. Freezing cold weather. And the medical person said, okay, I'm going to get him a tablet, but it is going to take an hour. I suggest that we don't push this because, it is the Air Force. They're not going to wait for us. We've, in fact, got to show up sharply punctually and say, yes, sir, 3 bags full.
That's
Said,
right.
I think we should forget about this. Let him rest. He needs to rest. We found the medicine. We gave it to him. I did 2 decree body works, which I am going to tell you about. I'm going to show you what I did. And It became about 9:30. The temperature didn't drop very much. My son was still exhausted, tired, and almost passed out. And it was this thing, I gotta go, I gotta get up, but oh God, mom, I can't move right now. And again, the medical person just kept saying, I think we should let everybody at the base know we are not going to be able to make it so that nobody else is held up for this. And I repeated what I had already done. I repeated it just one more time. And just by the way, it takes just 1 second to do it.
Okay.
We requested them for however long it could be delayed. We did get some time, first of all. So we got till about 10:45. By about 10, my son had thrown off the blankets, jumped out of bed, and said, let's go. And not like after it all happened that he fell back ill, because exhaustion can do that. Nope, it's been then till now. He's hale and hearty. And yes, you aren't asking, but I'm going to tell you, he did sit in the fighter plane, in the jet fighter plane. He spoke to people who did trainings for the MiG, and it was a dream come true for him. And this, right, the simplicity of what this is happens all the time, whether it's a fan, whether it is a computer. You know, there's this period in the year called Mercury retrograde, and it comes about 3-4 times. And Mercury retrograde has this tendency to send all our digital equipment into a tizzy.
Yes.
But when you know what to do, it's either going to be resolved very quickly, or it's going to be absolutely fine and not fall apart. I'm even going to show you what I do when it comes to traffic jams. And yeah, traffic jams. Really, I remember the last time I used it, which was about 10 days back.
Okay.
The traffic jam didn't clear, which it does. This time, the traffic jam didn't clear, but my driver was able to maneuver a way about, and we got to take a different road. We still reached on time. So I'm going to show you how that was done as well. But some of the stories and miracles that have taken place, especially like there was one that Darius mentioned, you know, for G, and I'm just going to have a sip of water. Cheers, everybody.
Okay. Yeah, if y'all have water, remember we said stay hydrated and
Super
take a sip. Yeah, super hydrated.
You know, like G dealing with narcissistic abuse for almost 10 years. And for anybody who's gone through any kind of abuse, whether it is psychopathic, sociopathic, or narcissistic, the thing is, if you haven't left in time, chances are you're still there. And 10 years is a long time for anything to become a pattern and a habit. And even when we decide, you know, I got to break away, it will take time. It will take months. It could take a year. Maybe it could take 2 years. But for G, within 3 months, he was able to stand up for himself, say no, call out bully behavior, and he has begun the process of the separation. It is an astounding journey to watch. Then we had K with 2 years of money stuck. Overnight, she got her money. We've had knee pains go away, back pains get clear, headaches get clear. We've had Belinda make 6 times her money overnight, her bank account, overnight. The program was, we're going to double it. She made 6 times.
And I'm going to say, you know, we got to be careful. That's, you know, everyone is going to, the way I look at this as, the universe is going to bring good in some way once you open this door. So, you know, yours might be different. Yours might be in some ways that totally different, but wouldn't you like to have more good in your life? Now, let's dissect this, because there's a lot of stories around finances and shifts in relationships and body. When you see that, let's say a money shift that comes in, what do you feel is happening? Is there like a timeline that the person plugs into where they are blessed abundantly, or is it that they have all this blockage, maybe not allowing something good to come in, and in that moment they sort of part the clouds and they allow that to come in, And then that then makes them feel better and they start to have faith, and it sort of like jumpstarts this new reality. How do you see it, Nidhu?
Such a good question, Darius. I'm so glad you asked.
Okay.
It does have more to do with the second
Okay.
and a daily practice. Because what you can do on a daily basis is how you're going to latch on to that timeline and keep that timeline going.
I knew it was timelines. I knew it was timelines. That's okay, because I try to think through it, but this is the thing I gotta say is I feel this a lot. And let me know, everyone, do you feel sometimes like you make a choice, you make another choice, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just going down this timeline that is not what I want. Like my life is getting harder and harder, and you know that you should change tracks, but you can't, or it just feels like you go further and further down one path and it gets harder. No, I've been there. I mean, let me tell you, I have to keep on the right timeline every single day, especially in this world and this, reality we're in. So let me know. Judith said yes. Thalion said, whenever I improve, there are people and energies that put me back worse and worse. So it's like going back to that timeline. Wow. Okay, so you said timeline. I got excited, but keep going with that. Aaron says constantly. So there is a timeline element to this, which I think is super exciting because we all have a higher timeline. We all have a higher timeline. Everyone, please remember that. Okay, go ahead, Nidhu. Sorry.
And the way to that timeline is a daily practice, which is also one of the things that excites me so much about the decrees and the decrees processes, because it's so simple to do. And I'll also tell you this, once you see how easy it is and how fun it is and how much joy is possible, even in those brief seconds and minutes, it's addictive. And this constantly parting the clouds on a daily basis, letting the sun shine on a daily basis, is how you are going to become part of the timeline, and the timeline is going to become part of you, because that's the gap here when it comes to timelines. You know what you want.
Right.
The timeline knows what you want. You want to catch the timeline, but the timeline has not yet become a part of you, which is why you grasp it, you collapse. You grasp it, you collapse. Sometimes it's other people's energies. Sometimes it's just our own comfort zones that I just don't know how to maintain continuing to get this kind of money. I just don't know how to maintain this kind of health. I just don't know how to maintain this kind of happiness in this relationship. So we let go of the timeline. The timeline is not yet a part of us. And this thing, right, this emphasis on daily work, the fact is that from here to there, which is from this timeline to that timeline, happens one day, one step, one shift at a time. The day is the day for everyone. But if you're okay, good, well rested, happy, you also have an okay, happy, good day. Even if something were to go off on that day, it doesn't feel so heavy and bad because you're okay. You're feeling light. Your sun is shining. I mean, think about it. Your life is how your days are, and how your days are is your life. If you're going to change your life, you're going to have to start by changing your days, starting today. And today, you're going to know how to part those clouds and continue returning home to the light, home to the superconscious, because your superconscious is the timeline you choose, that timeline of joy, love, happiness, tolerance, kindness, telepathy, ESP, ascension, whatever it is that you describe this timeline as for yourself, it's in the superconscious And it is through the superconscious that the timeline is going to become part of us. Because remember, that's what we want. We latch, we let go. We latch, we let go. But if it's part of us, it's moving through us, then there's no need to latch, and there will be absolutely no way you can let go because it's become part of you.
I totally get it, and I'm agreeing and feeling different, memories and situations where I felt like I've really latched onto that timeline and then I've let it go. And I want to talk about the element of speed, because there is a speed and ease is a part of this. And I don't mean that you do nothing and you just sit around your couch and everything gets better, but there's a speed and ease.
Stop it.
To which you act. Somebody said perfect. And things open up. I want to share really one quick thing from ETA, ETA. With the money magic decrees, I received gifts, supports, and funding. I received many gifts, support, appreciation, money from someone who owed me, mangoes, stock market position turned profitable, and funding for the business. So tell me about this idea of speed. I remember I used to call you Speedster. So what was the element of speed in this, Nidhu, that connects to these decrees? All right, we got somebody unmuted. Hold on, Nidhu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, the element of speed. Tell me about that.
Because it's the language of light. And we have used the analogy of the sun. How long does it take for the sunlight to reach here? Mm. The speed of light is part of the language of light, which is why it's abracadabra.
Speed of light is part of the language of light, or part of light medicine. Yeah, right? So It should be fast. Keep going. Very interesting. Okay.
It is fast. And like Darius also said at the start, I do hope that most of y'all have a notebook and a pen with you, because while we're going to be doing this on our bodies, I want you to see also when I do it on a sheet of paper, how quick it is. And you tell us if it's not happening at the speed of light.
Okay, do you want to share some? Because I know people are probably like, okay, let's do some. What would be one? I'll let you. I know you've got some. You're a big giver. What would you like to share? We can start feeling this here.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that sheet of paper, and somewhere in the center, because we're going to do things around it. So somewhere in the center, I would like you to write your name, and you can write your name in running or in capitals. Any color pen is fine.
Got mine here. Okay.
And what you're going to do, and everything is freehand, so don't worry about getting it perfect. That's not at all the point. It is still going to work. What I now want you to do is underline it. And take a second to see what that's done to your name. When we underline it, we are providing support. We're saying, I can stand on this. And underline also emphasizes importance, confidence, because now we're supported. And therefore, as you look at your name and the underline, take 5 seconds and see if there's a reaction in the body. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I just want you to keep your awareness peeled. Is there a reaction? If there is, tell us. If there isn't, also tell us.
When I felt into this, and I'm looking at it right now, I feel very supported. Feels like I'm supported. Yeah, I'm supported. So I want to let everyone know, if you're listening on any of the live streams, we're going to be cutting the stream. You're going to want to check the full interview. If you're listening on Zoom, like all the UAuth Revolution community, we're not stopping at all. But if you are on any of the social sites, you want to go to the link, because we're going to have more from Nidhu and you're going to catch the full interview. Yeah, I feel very, very supported. Let us know what you're feeling, everyone. I want to hear from you.